The brutal murder of Noor Mukadam, a shocking reality. Pakistan has witnessed countless cases of violence and brutality against women. However, one case stood out due to its sheer cruelty and inhumanity. It was the brutal murder of Noor Mukadam case that shook the conscience of an entire nation. The last 46 hours of Noor Mukadam's life. 27-year-old Noor Mukadam spent the final 46 hours of her life at the house of Zahir Jaffer, a house that ultimately became the place of her death. But before diving into that terrifying night, it's crucial to understand who was Zahir Jaffer. Zahir Jaffer was a U.S. Pakistani citizen from a wealthy business family. Noor's father, Shaukat Mukadam, was a diplomat who had served as Pakistan's ambassador to multiple countries. Their families had good relations, which led to a close friendship between Noor and Zahir. They were part of the same social circle and frequently met through mutual friends. Zahir worked at a company called Therapy Works, which provided psychological treatment to people. July 18, 2021, the beginning of the end. On July 18th, Zahir booked a one-way flight to New York, scheduled for July 19th. That same afternoon, he also booked a taxi to take him to the airport later that night. But then, something strange happened. 10 p.m., Noor arrives at Zahir's house. 11 p.m., a taxi driver arrives to pick Zahir, but Zahir asks him to wait. 2 a.m., Zahir and Noor leave for the airport. However, just 15 minutes later, Zahir tells the driver to turn the car around because he won't make it to the airport on time. 2:30 a.m., the driver drops them back at Zahir's house. During the entire ride, Noor remains completely silent, while Zahir keeps talking continuously. July 19th, the next morning at 4 a.m., Zahir calls his travel agent, but the call goes unanswered. July 20th, the night of horror. 11 p.m., Noor's parents try to call and message her multiple times, but she does not respond. 1 a.m., Noor's mother messages her again, still no response. 10:40 a.m., Noor somehow manages to send her mother a final voice message, but its contents remain unknown. 11 a.m., Zahir calls Noor's mother and tells her that Noor is not at his house. 7 p.m., Noor jumps from the balcony in an attempt to escape, running toward the main gate. At this point, Zahir's guards intervene and help him drag Noor back inside. This was the moment Noor's fate was sealed. The grisly details of her murder. The autopsy report revealed horrifying details. Noor was sexually assaulted before being killed. She was strangled to death. She was stabbed multiple times with a sharp weapon. This was not just a murder, it was an act of absolute savagery. 7:30 p.m., right after the murder, Zahir calls a family friend, saying he is in trouble and needs urgent help. The arrest and investigation. When the police arrived, they found Zahir tied up with ropes, but they immediately arrested him on the spot. Zahir was charged under Section 300 to murder. His parents, house staff, and the Therapy Works employees were also taken into custody for investigation. His name was added to the exit control list, sealed to prevent him from fleeing the country. The verdict did not get justice. This case became a turning point in Pakistan's fight against violence against women. Prime Minister Imran Khan ordered a zero-tolerance policy for this case. The hashtag Justice for Noor campaign gained massive support on social media. The Washington Post called it a defining moment in Pakistan's battle against gender-based violence. On February 24, 2022, Judge Attar Bani announced the final verdict. Zahir Jaffer was sentenced to death and 25 years in prison. His house guards and gardener were sentenced to 10 years in prison each. His parents, cook, and Therapy Works staff were acquitted due to lack of solid evidence. Final message. This case exposed the harsh reality monsters like Zahir Jaffer still exist in our society. We must remain vigilant and take action to protect those around us.